How's it? I'm Christo, and welcome to the Diamond Cornerstone. Classic YouTube drill: like, subscribe, share. So the diamond here, it's been with me like 21 years, and every time I look at it, I see something new or connect it to something new, and my friends actually laugh and say it's all about pattern recognition and how I try to see patterns in it. So this week we looked at war, and something that I don't think I mentioned was that the three monotheistic religions, Muslim or Islam, Judaism and Christianity, their symbols are the crescent moon, the Merkaba, or the Merkaba, and the cross. And all three can be seen around the connection between the green diamond and the red diamond, the point of heart center. So are we maybe looking at an A-Spire from different perspectives? And that's where the conflict is, because we're trying to explain or trying to force, not the word force here is used, because we're trying to force our viewpoint, our perspective on someone else, whereas it's still just one thing. And I want to introduce the diamond as a synergist, a synthesis of our ages, because we're fighting wars about street corners, and we're actually just looking at the same A-Spire from different perspectives. And maybe the diamond is a tree of life for our new golden age, for our time after all of this. A key to bring in the new earth, because sorry about that, because in essence it can be a tree of life. We always look back, and I was a Nat Geo junkie as a kid, and then along came Satellite and Discovery Channel and History Channel, and I watched everything regarding archaeology, everything regarding pyramids, Aztecs, ancient civilizations. The first thing I watched on Gaia was sacred geometry, but then the next was ancient civilizations, all 5 seasons back to back, like in a week. And the thing is, we're looking back to see where we're going forward, but now we've got to synergize and synthesize all that information into something that I was blessed to codify. Because if you look at the old tree of life, it only had 3. But now we've upgraded, and now we add 4 levels to a plane. So we're not throwing away our history, but we're taking the best of, and we're adding context, we're adding politics, we're adding exchange, we're adding, and the force that's at the bottom in the gray, in our shadow. But what happens if the tree of life is the alchemy? Because we've got our earth in the gray, we've got our fire, we've got our water, and we've got our air. So we've got a full-on flow of alchemy. And if we go back, Hermes Trismegistus, I actually heard this week, other names for him was Thoth and Merlin and the emerald tablets from 450,000 years ago. And so he was like the boss of, he brought alchemy in, and he brought transfiguration and transmutation, and he was thrice great, Trismegistus. And so we take him and his work and we put it into the diamond, and you'll actually see the staff of Hermes That's that staff with the two snakes that's used for medicine, and it all comes up and into a pineal gland, which is a little baby dinky gland in your brain that actually looks like a pine cone. And if we look at ancient texts and stuff, it's classified as like a third eye or a connection or an antenna to the divine, and that actually fits into into the A-Spire, and it's within you. Maybe this can be our key to unlock. This can be our key for reconciliation between the crescent moon and the Merkaba and the cross. Because we've been fighting over patches of soil through crusades, our current conflict, we've been fighting over that stretch of land for years, and the irony is it's actually just the crossover, because what made Israel, or has made Israel as a region so amazing always, it is the connection between Africa, the Middle East to China, Europe through the Middle East into Africa, because it's a land bridge, so to say. I went to Israel in 2005, and the history of the region has always been, it is the crossing point. It is the center of the cross, of trade routes, exchange routes. Because there's no oil, there's no natural resource of note, there's no coal, there's no gold, there's no silver, there's no diamonds, there's nothing actually in Israel as a region that is of note. I'll tell you one thing, shit weather. The summer is hot. The winter is this. My first trip to Israel was September 2005, and then I went again in February 2006 for a masterclass in small business development. But both were actually unpleasant weather-wise. So it's not some place you're actually going to pick as like a holiday destination for relaxation. You go there as a religious trip or a business trip or an educational trip. And so maybe this is my proposal, is we take this and we find what can we find are the viewpoints of the different people, and how can we build society at large. Because currently I'm of the opinion all wars, the Russia-Ukraine thing, the COVID thing, this Hamas-Israel, everything on mainstream media is distraction from keeping us from going within and activating our diamond A-Spire. Because I come from a Judeo-Christian background, it was all about reaching a point of atonement at heart center. That's what Christ said. Love your neighbor. Turn the other cheek. But we keep the revenge cycle going, and the media creates the hype, and investors follow, because guess what? We're selling guns, we're selling drugs, we're selling chemicals. The petrochemical industrial complex. So yeah, someone asks me, how do we change? And it's not that difficult, just stop. Stop. Don't support big corp. Support the local farmer. Support the local baker. Support the local. Keep the energy of your community in your community. The first client base of any shopping mall are the employees, because they have to eat, they have to buy stuff, they have to sleep somewhere. So guess what? In the mall, salaries are being used as currency to spend inside the shopping mall. If you want to build a decent business, you build an umbrella with lots of little organizations or companies underneath, and they actually feed each other and use their own resources to keep the cash that's in the business, keep the energy of the business in the business. And this we can do in community. This is how we've always done it in community. Unfortunately, we've always been part of these nation states where the nation taxes, and the taxes is basically a theft of energy. That's what tax is. Again, it's been around for 4,000 years. Thank you, Joseph. Don't believe me, Genesis 47. We put ourselves into slavery. But now to get ourselves out, we have to take back our energy. We can't stop paying taxes because that's the system we have created. So we have to actually get to a point where we can evolve society out of a tax-based system. And there are people with ideas. Banks are making millions. Banks own nothing. A bank doesn't even own its building, but it has a piece of paper that says it has the right to move and provide debt and basically manage the energy of a state. But a bank in its essence has nothing. It's just moving numbers across a screen. When you get a mortgage on your house, it's not like the bank goes to the reserve bank to get the gold to convert to cash for your house. They basically apply a debt to your property. They apply a debt to your property. But nowhere was there ever an exchange from the state that says that property. Now that's probably why it's called real estate, because all estates belong to the real is royal. But these are things that we have to think about again. How are we going to create a new society with new rules? But we've got to get to a point of atonement between the sacred geometry, between the crescent moon, the Vesica Pisces, the cross. Vesica Pisces and cross are both Christianity, yeah? and the Merkaba, which is obviously the Jews. Crescent moon is the Muslims. And this is a proposed model that can do that. It can be used for business. It can be used for politics and governance. I don't like politics. Governance and vision setting. It can be used for business. It can be used for stewardship of the environment. It can be used for good citizenry, aka the education, being good citizens, the social aspect. It can be used to get the core of a nation right, which is child-centered households. And it can balance all of that just by its natural design. And then with the rise of frequency, energy, consciousness, vibration, we can actually bring the imagination or the divine through the imagination of the green diamond into our reality. We don't have to force this. Force is grey diamond. Power is red, green, blue. Majesty, strength. Welcome to a tree of life. Last point. You can actually look at the alchemical symbols from the line in the earth diamond. Now the alchemical symbols are earth, fire, water, air, and they all pack in quite nicely on our diamond A-Spire. And between the lines of the earth diamond, or the earth triangle, and the air diamond, there are 33 points, which is the same as all the ancient emphasis and numerology on 33 vertebrae in your spine, 33 steps. Christ was crucified at age 33. 33, I think there's some 33, I'm not sure, gods, people or entities in the Hindu faith as well. But 33 levels in Freemasonry. 33 is a recurring number. But there are 33 steps, 33 in our A-Spire, or 33 points, 4 plus 8. is 12, plus 4, 16. 4 plus 8 plus 4 is 12, is 16. 16 plus 16 is 32, plus the 1, heart center. We've got ourselves 33 steps in our Jacob's ladder, our connection between earth and divine. And look, people say I'm reaching. I'm just seeing this. If we adopt it, it's a proposed model. It's better than linear, random, separate competition, conflict. New way of thinking. Renew your mind. If we have a new mind, we can have a new earth. We can have freedom, peace, love, prosperity, abundance, anticipation, awareness, adaptability. And imagine 8 billion creative souls bringing the divine in. Now that's something to celebrate. So, we have ourselves a tree of life for the new earth, and it honors our past, it turns our present, and unlocks our future. Let's set a diamond as our cornerstone, and blessings. You are the diamond, aspire.